Hello and welcome to the Amateur Austenite. My name is Frances Duncan. I am an author and the founder of the Jane Austen Society of New Zealand. It's just me today. I'm going to talk to you about episode 6 of The Courtship. Another gentleman goes outside the bounds of propriety. There is a bacchanalia and some reasonably bad poetry, a single date where they attempt to do some art. The final ball where one gentleman leaves. The gentlemen are talking about Mr. Judge's kiss with Miss Remy at the final dance, and Mr. Bokeikio doesn't want to see people kissing her in front of him, which is funny because I'm reasonably sure he's the first person who kissed her in front of everybody else. Mr. Chapman, you remember at the end of the last episode, says, "I want some time with you." Miss Remy said, "I will make time." He sneaks into the castle, dressed as a servant, to bring her breakfast in bed. Obviously, we know it's not really sneaking, it's something that the production has organised, but the guys aren't happy. They end up kissing in her bed, and she refers to having a sparkle feeling about him, which is lovely. During the Bacchanalia, his poetry is quite beautiful, and I think he might be the only one who gets to read his full poem. Mr. Mowbray might have, but that wasn't clear. And Mr. Chapman's poem talks about learning to drive one-handed so he could hold hands with her while he's driving. It was really lovely. I find that Mr. Chapman's sneaking to see Miss Remy in this instance was better than Mr. Bokeikio's, because he's not taking the time away from the other guys and he's not being rude. Is it appropriate to turn up pretending to be a servant and go to her bedroom? No. Captain Kim is really not impressed when he finds out about this. I think he's someone who likes to know what the rules are and to follow those rules, and I get that. I'm that sort of person too. Captain Kim gives Miss Remy the first gift, which is a bracelet of his, and he says that if I'm not pulling my weight, if I'm not following the correct values, I want you to give it back to me. She wants him to kiss her, and he kisses her on the forehead. He wants their kiss to mean something, to be at the right time. So the Bacchanalia, they think, is like a bachelor party. They're not entirely wrong, except it's more of a bachelorette party, because the Bacchanalia generally involved women. So this is based off the Roman god of wine Bacchus, who is then also based off the Greek god Dionysus, and the Greek vases showed women in ecstasy having parties. Mr. Chapman and Miss Remy run off into the woods to do some kissing, then they go to her bedroom to do more kissing, and she says to him that she wants someone who will be happy for her regardless, whether they are the outcome or not, and he stays all night. It's not clear whether they had sex, but she does say he rocked her world. Previously she was kind of obsessed with Mr. Bokeikio, and now this has moved a little bit, perhaps, over to Mr. Chapman, which is kind of nice, but the person who gets the single date is Mr. Judge. He opens up about leaving home when he was 14, and then she and he wrestle because he's a wrestling coach. It's quite cute, and they end up making out. And she's wearing this bright yellow coat, and I wonder whether yellow is a colour that she particularly likes because it's also her dress that's used for the promotional items for the show. At the last dance, Captain Kim steps forward and puts himself on the dance card. And it's not clear whether he was already on it or not, at least to me. The other two people on the dance card are Mr. Bokeikio and Mr. Mowbray. Throughout this episode, Miss Remy has said she's not sure about Mr. Mowbray because he's never been in love before. And he is inexperienced, and he's clear that he's scared about falling in love. He says, yes, that's what it's like. And when he stays, Tessa pretends to faint. Now, Mr. Bokeikio, I think, was a little bit of a chemistry check for her. She wanted to see if she still felt the way she did about him after the extra time she spent with Mr. Chapman. These two have been doing a lot of kissing in her bedroom and in the woods. She also points out to Mr. Bokeikio that he hasn't been putting in the effort, but if two men were trying to sneak into the house to see her, I think it would have been a little bit much. Captain Kim saves himself. Captain Kim says, I know about last night. Without saying you and Mr. Chapman were together, I assume you had sex. He just knows that they spent time together and it's made him uncomfortable. So he nopes out of the situation, which I think is quite mature. He's realised this is upsetting him and it's not working for him anymore. It's sad, and Miss Remy is upset. She gives herself some space before continuing, and she's swearing a lot, and you can tell that the camera's trying to catch everything, looking at her down strange hallways to get that information. But she pulls herself together. Then there's a staged confrontation between Mr. Chapman and Captain Kim. Mr. Chapman is pissed at Captain Kim wanting to know what he said to upset Miss Remy, and Captain Kim is quite clear, I didn't say anything. I didn't blame her for her choices or say anything about you two being together. The fact that you stayed is on you. The fact that you're feeling guilty is on you. I'm making choices for myself. And I don't think he's judging her. I think he's being very clear that this situation is triggering for him. Throughout the whole episode, the guys have been talking about how hard it is to see her with the other guys, kissing them and talking to them, and the implication that Mr. Chapman may have slept with her. He certainly stayed the night. And one of the parts of this format that it plays on is jealousy. The jealousy of the suitors is what brings the drama and the entertainment. And that's quite sad. It makes total sense that they don't feel secure in their relationship. They have just met this woman, and she is dating 8 other guys. It's more confusing because you're kind of friends with those guys. I don't know if there's a way around that. I'm sad to see Captain Kim go because, as you know, I really liked him. I believe he's genuine. He really wanted to lean into the Regency aspects of this, and I feel like that would have worked better for him. They're not making much of an effort to keep to any sort of Regency structures. They wear the clothes, that's about it. There's very little referring to people by their surnames. The clothing for the Bacchanal, all the guys are shirtless and wearing like gold things. It's fantastic. And Miss Remy's dress is completely see-through. Everyone looks so beautiful. And then they just give them all the wine. It looks like they're genuinely having a good time, and I hope that they are. Only the singles are involved, so brother and sister are not there to chaperone. One of the guys says it's the best party he's been to, and I hope that's true. That is my summary of episode 6 of The Courtship. My name is Frances Duncan. You can find me at francesduncanwrites.com and on Twitter at Frances_Duncan. Thank you for listening, and I wish you happy watching.